Hi, I'm Barbara Emodi, author of Stress-Free Sewing Solutions, and I want to share with you a sample of one of the techniques that's in the book, and really a technique that I think illustrates my attitude to writing the book and how I've organized it. Every technique begins with a picture of a fail, followed all instructions let down, which basically is you've done everything you're supposed to and you're disappointed with what you're looking at. So I made samples for the book that had problems so we could talk about it, and then I showed immediate solutions when those are possible, and then how to avoid that situation, how to adjust the instructions and your approach next time so you wouldn't be in that spot. But I have to say, one of the things I enjoyed most was writing the fixes. And one I want to talk to you about a lot, I see a lot in social media, are people who have done, this is a very popular t-shirt pattern, and it was made exactly to the specifications using the pattern pieces and the pattern recommendations. And you'll see that that neckline, that knit neckline, gapes out. And if you're on Facebook and any sewing groups, you've probably seen a million pictures where people have said, I made my top, but why does it have that little peaky thing in the front? There are a couple reasons, and one simple fix. So apart from ripping it out and trying over again. And I have to say before I go on any farther that in social media people will always say, well, you know, take it to the ironing board and give it a good steam and a good hard press. That will make it worse. This is a knit fabric, so think of it like a knitted sweater. You would not take a knitted sweater to the ironing board and put heat and steam in it and give it a good hard press. It will flatten it and expand it. So that's something we don't do. But if you have this, and we've all had that, I have when I made this, it's first of all important to understand why. The first reason is self-fabric. Self-fabric is the band is made of the same fabric as the garment. If the band is wide, and this is about 1 inch wide, if most self-fabrics do not have enough recovery to, the opening at the bottom is wide, so the bottom of the band is sewn in the neckline, but they don't have enough recovery to retract as the curve of the body goes in, and therefore they'll stand out straight. That is inevitable with most self-fabrics if the band is that wide. If, for example, this is a ribbing neckline, see how nicely that lies? Ribbing is different. Ribbing has the retractability that it can pull itself in at that inner folded edge. But that's pretty hard to do. So you have a couple of, hard to do in self fabric, a couple of alternatives. You can use a self fabric like this bamboo knit that is super stretchy, almost ribbing like, and as a result you can get that curve. So that works. Also using a different length than is specified by the pattern. Usually, and this is in the book, for self fabric I would use the length of the band to be about 2/3 what the neck opening is. And actually the band dimensions for that garment were probably more like 3/4, so that actually was too wide. But when you're faced with that fail, with a neckline like this that is really so much wider, and that mistakes always happen at center front, or something you're not happy with always occurs at center front. That's a rule of sewing. You've got two fixes. The first one, and this is the exact same pattern with the exact same band as the other one, the first one is to narrow that band. I took the band, which is exactly the same as the one that's got the gaping problem, and fed it through my serger again, in fact making the width of the band half as deep. And just by reducing that dimension, reducing the challenge for the band to curve in, I eliminated the gaping in this particular neckline. So that's the first thing you can do. Make that band a little bit narrower, and you will most of the time completely eliminate it, any gaping. The other thing you can do, and this is what I did in this top, again, lovely fabric, isn't this nice? This is a cotton knit, and it had the same problem, that little shape there. And what I've done is I've gone in at center front, folded it, and done just a tiny dart. Just stitch that down. It has to be at center front because it's kind of a faux V at that point. Just brought that in a little bit, and that is how I've taken in that little bit of gaping, and I now have that same shirt flying nice and smoothly. And when I finish this video, I'm going to take this to my machine and do exactly that. Fold it in center front and sew that a very tiny little dart from the fold right to the stitching line, and you're done. So that should give you a sense of the kinds of fixes that are all throughout the book, and also a sense of the directions that will go in to set up the project again, so we won't have those issues. So hope you found these hints suitable. That one about narrowing the band is really, really great. And I hope you enjoy reading that book as much as I enjoyed writing it. Thank you.